you set it up well that we're talking about the long-term care aspects, because people recognize that long-term care can be very expensive. And so people are looking at, well, is Medicaid an option? Because Medicaid will pay for care in a nursing home if the person needs the care and they meet the requirements of the Medicaid program to have the government, basically, the taxpayers, pay for that care being received. But you've got to follow some pretty strict rules.
Yes, you do.
So when you talk about the planning part, you've got to get a 5-year head start on this. So what you're talking about is arranging your state and doing estate planning for Medicaid, or are we talking about specific things to make sure that you will qualify for Medicaid should the need arise?
Both.
Okay.
So when somebody comes in and they know, somebody has some sort of a condition or a disease, MS or something, like Parkinson's, and knows that eventually, maybe they're feeling healthy, have no issues right now, but eventually there's the great potential, then you're really talking about somebody who should be doing that proactive planning 5 years in advance if they have the finances that dictate that. But like I said, most people are not doing that. And with Medicaid, it is a federal program. However, it is interpreted by each state. So Florida is a wonderful place to grow old for many reasons. But with the Medicaid program, we are very generous with exemptions. And for example, your house is an exempt asset. It's not counted. That is not the case in other states.
Okay.
In other states, you have to sell your home, or when it is sold, it's going to pay back for the Medicaid that you've had to use. And a vehicle is an exempt. Personal property is exempt. So there are some exemptions that Florida has that other states do not have.
Now, the Medicaid planning doesn't take the place of the rest of your estate planning. You know, Courtney, you've got other things that you should be doing that still need to be done if we're trying to plan for the Medicaid aspect.
Oh, absolutely. You should do, at minimum, your basic estate planning, meet with your professionals, meet with your attorneys, your CPA, your financial advisors. Get a plan in place, preferably if you think that there needs to be long-term care at least 5 years in advance. You know, try to do some prep work here, but it does not take the place. I know that when I get special circumstances that come in and they're concerned maybe about Medicaid paying for costs, or do they have too many assets, because the government want to make sure that the assets that somebody has can't pay for that care if the state is going to pay for that care or taxpayers are going to pay for that. So then I send them to a Medicaid planning attorney like Wendy to do this other legwork for it.
I imagine you've had people say, oh, I've got a trust. I don't need Medicaid planning. My trust is going to take care of this for me.
Well, we get a lot of questions, but yes, trust is the all magic word that is unfortunately misunderstood a lot, but used plenty. And it is not the fail-safe tool. It is not.
You made a great point that, this is overall, Medicaid is intended to help people that don't have assets. But for people that plan ahead, as you talked about, Wendy, and they get their 5-year head start, then you're talking about helping them from a legal standpoint look at how their assets are owned, whether they keep them, whether they give them to their beneficiaries, making sure that their situation is going to be appropriate based on what they're trying to accomplish.
If you would like more information about the topics and our guests featured in this series, please visit our website at PlanStrongerTV.com. Also, if you have a question you would like David to answer, please send it to questions@PlanStrongerTV.com.